Zino 2 got some shipping updates and some possible fixes for some issues I'm sure you won't want to miss. Coming up next. Hey everyone, Bill from Bill the Drone Reviewer, where I make drone and drone related videos. If you're new here, welcome, and consider hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night on Rotor Talk Live, Marcus Crawford, Ron Braun, and I took a look at some updates regarding the Zino 2. We each gave a shipping update, Ron, Marcus, and myself. We also discussed the potential fix for a lens flare issue, and we also discussed a potential fix for an issue with the remote controller. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and roll that clip in its entirety. All right, we're going to switch gears here. We're going to go to the Zino 2, okay? Let's check with Ron and Marcus and see where their boat is on the way over to the United States.
Well, Bill,
information on the boat.
Yeah, the slow boat from China. I checked my tracking number at about approximately 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the only it was no update at all. All is a shipping labels printed out in California and waiting for the boxes to come off the boat so they can slap it on. So absolutely no progress at all. And I do have some other updates on GearBest. I had go ahead, Lauren. Take a break. I had put the Hubsan Zino 2 battery and the ND filters not in my cart, but I favor them, put in my favorites so they would be there. And why I didn't put them in my cart because they weren't available for shipping to the U.S. But now, even in my favorites category in GearBest, they're grayed out. You can no longer even get in there and mess with them. So that's kind of alarming. And then I went over and checked the Hubsan, the official Hubsan US website, and I see the ND filters are for sale there, but not the spare batteries. So even the ordering the accessories that you need is a bit dicey. But we did get some information on Zino Nation last night. It seems that Chris, the QC guy, has been doing some testing with the ND filters from other drones like the FIMI X8 and the
Anafi.
The Parrot Anafi drone, and I haven't got a chance to watch Chris's video yet, but they say that the Anafi the Anafi ND filters fit very well on the Zino to cut down on what we've commonly known as the sun flare issue. So that's a little bit of information, even though nothing on the updates. Marcus, how's where is your Zino 2 right now?
I got a little theory going, Ron. So mine says shipped, and of course they've printed the shipping document and given it to FedEx. But I suspect that my Zino 2 is still in parts bins in a Zino factory someplace. And once they get it put together and send it over to GearBest, maybe then it will ship. Who knows?
Oh, okay. What are you a bet, man? Let's go to Las Vegas and put down odds. What will happen first? We will get our Zino 2s, which we ordered before Christmas, or the Autel Evo will be on the shelf at Best Buy. What will happen first?
The Evo 2 will be on the shelf first, guaranteed.
I was afraid you guys were going to say that.
Not even close. Not even close. Now, I've got an update that I wanted to share with everybody.
I just was going to finish my thought. Ron jumped in on me there.
Sorry, Marcus.
Did
you miss me?
Yeah. Go ahead, Bill.
No. Go ahead, Marcus.
No. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's go ahead. I got to share my screen here. All right.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Marcus. Sorry. I know you're probably in the middle of something. I messed you up.
Yep. No worries.
All right. Now, I've been actually getting some communications with Hubsan, which I think is pretty good. They've been very responsive, a lot more responsive than GearBest has. And I love how they do their hello, dears. Hello, dear. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Zino 2 is out of stock. I estimated there will ship you order at promised time, but labor shortage led to delivery late because of the virus. Okay, and I understand that. And I said, okay, thank you. Please keep me updated. And she says, okay, thank you. The next dispatch will be shipped around March 23rd, on 23rd March. So actually got an update here, which I thought was pretty interesting. Okay, we actually got some news as far as that's concerned. So now a point that I made, and it was great. And by the way, I'll talk about this here in a second. But one of the points I made on Zino Nation last night was, if you're still, interested in getting it from Hubsan, okay, you need to look on their Hubsan.com, not HubsanUS.com, because Hubsan US does not have it. It shows out of stock. So you have to go to Hubsan.com, their main site, if you're interested in ordering it. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about tonight was we had a great show on Zino Nation last night. Had Josh from Parks and Tech, and I know he's in the chat, did a fantastic unboxing and setup video, and wanted to give him a lot of kudos for that, because what he did was he kept the camera on the whole time he was doing the setup. Okay, took us through the firmware update process, crossed our fingers making sure the controller had enough of a charge before he finished it, but it did complete everything, and that was so good to see. And everything went well, and he was able to get an FPV view, and he actually took a first flight. It was a very short one up in his backyard, not really, but he's going to have more on. And when he gets a couple of flights in under his belt, we're going to have him on the show, and we're definitely going to talk about this. So, that's definitely some good news. It was great also last night to see L3 Toys in the chat. That was definitely interesting, and they're making an effort as far as trying to speak some English in their videos, which I think is fantastic. I think Ron brought that up last night. Another one, and I'll probably let Marcus talk a little bit more about this. Blueskyver just did another video, and he's one you do need to watch some of his videos, because he puts out some great videos about the Zino 2. Now, Marcus, he talked about the cables within the remote. Can you explain that for everybody?
Yeah, so what happened to Blueskyver, and he was the first person in North America that any of us know of that had the Zino 2, and he said after a number of times inserting the micro USB connector into the controller, because you're going to put it in there, put a charge cable in there, and then you're going to put your OTG cable to your phone, so you're constantly connecting and unconnecting. Well, it came loose. The solder broke loose off of the board on the inside, and of course he reported that to Hubsan, and they're shipping him a new controller. In the meantime, he took it to a cell phone repair shop, and they were able to resolder those connections for him. But then it messed up his FPV, so something was not quite right there, evidently. But his recommendation was that when you get that controller, just use a micro USB cable with a regular USB on the other end, and just leave it in there permanently. Don't take it out. And then to connect to your device, get one of those cables that has a female USB, and then whatever your device connector is on the other end. So then when you're charging, you never then are going to pull that out of the controller, because when you charge it, you've got the USB on the end. You just plug that into your charger, and then when you're hooking your device up to it, you've got whatever your cable is, and so you're not pulling it in and out of the controller, because his feeling is that's a weak point.
Marcus, I think you mentioned something? Did Blueskyver, and what's the gentleman's name again? I forget.
All I remember is what Thanos, like in the in the movies.
In the movies, okay, all right. Well, Blueskyver, did he have some links for cables that you can buy for that in his video?
He did. They were Canadian links, so they worked for Lauren, and they didn't work for us.
Okay, all right. Well, what I'm going to do is
Amazon.
Yeah, I'll end up getting them and find U.S. The comparable ones for the U.S. because I think it would be a great thing for everybody to have that. And I think that was a very good thing that he did, and a very good video that he did, because it's good to know these weak points. And this is one of the things that I love about the drone community is, when we have issues or problems, we share these things amongst everybody. We talk about it and we find solutions for it. And here's a great example of that. So Blueskyver, kudos to you for getting a solution out for this, something that's going to work for everybody, because, we found it's a weak point. And just leaving it in there permanently is going to solve a lot of problems. I think that was an excellent solution. I really like that.
I have a quick question for Marcus. Do you think that, I watched Blueskyver's video I watch them all, but I watched that one closely on Marcus's recommendation. And do you think there's a possibility that maybe Blueskyver's Zino 2, since the early one, maybe just didn't get soldered properly and it's only an issue related to his drone? Or you think the way it was put on the motherboard could be a weak point for all Zino 2 controllers? Do you have any guess on what I just said?
Yeah, so I thought the same thing, Ron. I thought, could it be? We know he had an early one. Could it just be related? Well, sometimes there's one-off defects, right? Could be just a defect on his controller and no other. But how do we know that? I thought his solution was very elegant in that it doesn't cause you any harm to leave that thing plugged in there. So why not do that? But that's a good point. I don't think there's any way for us to know, Ron. And the other thing that I want to say about Blueskyver is he is an engineer, so he has he knows what he's talking about.
Right. Now, and all this cabling, the buy all you would need 2 cables under his recommendation. And what would for US, what would the cost be for both cables?
I went ahead and bought those cables, in advance so that I'll have them when I need them. And I don't know, it was $10 or $12 for both of them put together. It wasn't much.
So you mean combined it was only like, say, under $15?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
easy.
A very affordable insurance policy against ripping the micro USB connector off your board. Yeah. So
one of the last things I want to talk. Thanks for bringing that up, guys. This is a great discussion. One of the last things I want to talk about. We know our friend Chad B, and we need to have you on the show sometime. He has a bad ribbon cable because he lost his FPV. He thought it might have been because of the firmware update, but it ended up it's a bad ribbon cable, and I don't know. I think is Hubsan probably going to send you a new one or a new camera? Just let us know in the comments section, Chad. But again, thank you, Chad, for bringing this to our attention. This helps the community at large to know, not go stir crazy, when you're having problems. But it could be just a defect with this and a defect with that, like Blueskyver's could have been a potential defect. Chad, yours could have been just a potential defect or a one-off. It could just be that this just happened on one occasion. So I think this is good information. I really like the fact that everybody's working together here to share all this information. It's also good to find out that there's some remedies for that sun flare issue that are available. I think that's good too. So take advantage of these opportunities. I'll get the links. I'll drop them in there after the show tonight, so you guys can definitely get those cables if you're interested in. And do like Marcus said, if you're still waiting for your Zino 2, go ahead and get those cables ahead of time. Get them now before you actually get it. And believe me, I think you'll have plenty of time before that happens. Okay, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Jaybird just brought something up here that is, I think, people concerned about a lens flare issue. There's a lot of folks that are experimenting with lens hoods. That could be a big help for that too. Just a thought. I mean, heck, I was flying my Mavic Mini the other day, and you turn that thing towards the sun and you get a lens flare. I saw the same thing on my original Zino. I kind of think it's a little overblown, the issue. We're in the wintertime and we have the sun really low in the sky, so it's really evident this time of year. I'm just wondering if we're not kind of overblowing that issue a little.
Yeah. Well, Chad put an update in there. He's getting ready to ship it. Question of the day. What do you think of the possible fixes for the issues that we've discussed? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.